Hey everyone, I'm working to hit 1,000 subscribers and I need your help to get there. If you enjoy this content, please hit that subscribe button right now.
Buckle up, Detroit, because what's about to unfold at training camp isn't just football, it's a soap opera wrapped in shoulder pads, and every single storyline could make or break the Lions' entire season. We're talking injuries nobody can explain, a secondary that's been held together with duct tape and prayers, and a quarterback battle for the number 2 job that might actually be more entertaining than anything you'll see in the preseason. So grab a seat, because Detroit Focus is about to break down the 5 biggest concerns and the 5 juiciest position battles heading into Lions training camp. And trust me, there is no shortage of drama. Let's rip the Band-Aid off immediately, because the cornerback situation across from star corner DJ Reed is nothing short of a 5-alarm fire. Here's the deal. Terrion Arnold, once a promising piece of that much-hyped 2024 draft class, has been released by the Detroit Lions. Gone. Just like that. And that means the job opposite Reed is now up for grabs, with Rock Ya-Sin currently holding the keys. Sounds fine on paper, right? Except Ya-Sin was a backup last season, and before that he bounced around 4 different teams in 4 years. That's not a resume, that's a red flag waving in the wind. Sure, he played well in a limited role last year. But can he actually hold up as a full-time starter? Or is this a mirage that's about to get exposed the second real competition shows up on the schedule? And this is where it gets spicy. Will the Lions sit on their hands, or will they go shopping? Free agency is still very much in play, and a trade isn't off the table either. There's also chatter that Detroit might just wait until final roster cuts hit that magic number of 53, scooping up cornerback depth once other teams start trimming fat. Whatever direction they choose, one thing is painfully clear. The entire Lions secondary is a question mark wrapped in an enigma, smothered in uncertainty. And when you combine that with a defense that's already dealing with injuries at basically every level, Detroit fans have every right to be nervous. Is this the year the secondary finally gets cooked again, or does someone step up and shock the world? We genuinely don't know, and that unpredictability alone should have you tuning into every single training camp update. Speaking of chaos, let's talk injuries, because the Lions have officially become the unluckiest team when it comes to bodies breaking down at the worst possible time. Ben Bartch is expected back at camp, which is good news, but there's still a laundry list of banged-up players trying to get right, including names like Ennis Rockstraw and Sione Vaki, who've both dealt with nagging issues. And let's not even pretend the injury bug is new territory for this franchise. They already lost promising rookie Kendrick Law for the entire season. Let that sink in. 1 down before camp even really gets rolling. Remember when the offensive line was in such rough shape that Giovanni Manu, a guy who probably wasn't ready, got thrown into a starting role out of pure necessity? That nightmare is exactly why the front office went out and stacked bodies at that position this offseason. They are terrified of a repeat. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Even with reinforcements, training camp injuries are basically inevitable in the NFL. The only question is how severe they'll be and whether Detroit can actually survive them this time instead of watching depth charts implode like they have in years past. Now let's get into the injury story that could single-handedly define this entire Lions season. Kerby Joseph's knee. This isn't a minor subplot. This is the main event. Right now, there is zero clarity on when or if Kerby Joseph will be ready to go. Head coach Dan Campbell doesn't know. The coaching staff doesn't know. Honestly, nobody knows. And when your best defensive playmaker is a giant question mark heading into the most important stretch of the offseason, that's not just concerning. That's borderline terrifying for a fan base that has already watched this defense implode more times than anyone cares to count. There is a small silver lining, though. Brian Branch, another key piece of that secondary, is expected to return and has a real chance at a long, impactful career if he can stay on the field. But Kerby Joseph's situation is murkier, messier, and far more unpredictable. It's pure speculation at this point, and that uncertainty is eating at Lions fans everywhere. The whole secondary has essentially been through the ringer this offseason, and if Detroit wants any shot at being manageable, not even great, just manageable, by week 1, they need answers, and they need them fast. But hold on, because we haven't even gotten to the wild card of the entire defense, Ennis Rakestraw. This man is being asked to do something almost unthinkable. Single-handedly rescue the reputation of the entire 2024 draft class. No pressure, right? Rakestraw hasn't produced much of anything through 2 seasons, but this year is genuinely the first time he's stepped onto the field fully healthy. He reportedly packed on 10 pounds of muscle to protect his body from the injuries that have plagued him. If he can stay on the field and actually perform, it could be a massive, much-needed boost for a secondary that desperately needs a hero. If he doesn't, that 2024 draft class is looking like an outright disaster, with offensive lineman Christian Mahogany, a 6th-round steal who's already fighting for a starting job, being the lone bright spot. Everything is riding on Rakestraw's shoulders right now, and Detroit Focus will be watching every single rep in camp to see if he can carry that weight. And finally, rounding out our concerns list, we arrive at new defensive coordinator Kelvin Shepherd, and honestly, the whole defense as a concept. Let's be real with each other. The Lions' defense has been a sore subject since the dawn of time. It's been the Achilles heel of this franchise for years, and now Shepherd inherits a unit riddled with losses. Terrion Arnold is gone, Kirby Joseph's health is in limbo, Brian Branch is working his way back, and the team also lost linebacker Alex Anzalone opposite star edge rusher Aidan Hutchinson. That is an absurd amount of turnover and uncertainty for any coordinator to walk into. Shepherd has hinted at scheme changes, potentially leaning more into nickel packages instead of traditional 3 linebacker sets, and he claims he's studied the tape and knows what needs fixing. That's great to hear in theory. But talk is cheap. Detroit fans have heard promises before. This time, we need to actually see it translate onto the field, because patience for a mediocre defense has officially run out. All right, enough doom and gloom. Let's flip the script and talk about the fun stuff. Because training camp isn't just about worry, it's about battles. And this year's crop of position battles might be some of the most entertaining we've seen in years. First up, the left guard competition. And this one is shaping up to be an absolute dogfight. You've got Christian Mahogany, Miles Frazier, and a hopefully healthy Ben Barch all throwing their hats into the ring. Here's the beautiful part. No matter who wins this battle, the entire offensive line wins. Right now, Mahogany might have a slight edge, but these 3 are neck and neck in talent level, which means every single practice rep in camp is going to matter. And the guy who doesn't win the starting job, he instantly becomes elite depth, which is exactly what this offensive line needs after years of getting exposed by injuries. This battle alone should make camp must-watch television for Lions fans. Next, we've got a genuinely can't-miss subplot, the fight for the backup quarterback job behind Jared Goff. In one corner, you've got the seasoned veteran Teddy Bridgewater. In the other corner, an undrafted rookie who's been turning heads and earning serious praise from the coaching staff throughout the offseason program. Who ends up QB2? This battle is going to make an otherwise forgettable preseason genuinely exciting. Because let's face it, preseason football is usually a snooze fest. But throw in a real quarterback competition, and suddenly you've got a reason to actually watch those meaningless exhibition games. Detroit Focus wants to know, who are you picking to win that job? Drop it in the comments, because this one is wide open. Then there's the wide receiver 5 battle. And folks, this one is a straight-up bloodbath, in the best way possible. Dominic Lovett currently looks like the favorite, but there are reportedly close to 10 different receivers gunning for that final roster spot. Unfortunately, this opportunity only exists because of Kendrick Law's season-ending injury, which is a bitter pill to swallow. But that's the NFL for you. One man's misfortune becomes another man's shot at making the team. Camp battles like this are exactly what makes training camp must-see content, because somebody's dream is about to come true and a whole lot of other guys are about to have their hearts broken. The linebacker competition is another one to circle, with youngster Jack Campbell adjacent battles brewing between names like the developing linebacker core and veteran Malcolm Rodriguez. While Rodriguez is expected to win the job initially, there's a young linebacker who's been putting on an absolute show in OTAs and minicamp, reportedly already snagging multiple interceptions and turning into a certified highlight reel. Even if Rodriguez ultimately wins the starting role, having this level of internal competition pushes everybody to be better, and that's exactly the kind of culture the Lions need heading into a pivotal season. And finally, we've got the battle for the starting safety spot opposite Kirby Joseph, assuming, of course, he's able to go. Chuck Clark and Vontae Maddox are the two names in the mix, and right now Clark appears to have the edge thanks to his leadership presence in the locker room and his takeover of the defensive back room as a vocal veteran. Maddox, meanwhile, has dealt with some absences during camp for various reasons, but he's a proven quality player who is absolutely still in the running. There's also a name like Tracy Walker lingering in the background of that room as well. Whoever wins this job will play a critical role in determining whether that secondary can finally turn the corner, and honestly, may the best man win, because Detroit needs both of these guys pushing each other to be great. So here's where we land, Lions fans. Training Camp 2025 is shaping up to be one of the most consequential in recent memory. On one hand, you've got a defense littered with question marks, a cornerback spot up for grabs after cutting Terrion Arnold, a secondary drowning in injuries with Kirby Joseph's status a complete mystery, Ennis Rackstraw carrying the weight of an entire draft class on his back, and a new coordinator in Kelvin Shepard who needs to prove his scheme changes actually work. On the other hand, you've got some of the most entertaining position battles in the entire NFL brewing right here in Detroit. The left guard fight, the backup quarterback showdown, the wide receiver scramble, the linebacker push, and the safety competition. This is going to be a training camp full of drama, tension, breakout stars, and maybe even a few heartbreaks along the way. If you're planning on attending training camp in person, tickets are available right now, so don't sleep on that opportunity to watch these battles unfold with your own eyes. But whether you're there live or watching from home, Detroit Focus is going to be your home base for every single update, every roster battle, and every twist and turn as this story develops over the coming weeks. So here's the deal. If you want to stay locked in on everything happening with your Detroit Lions this training camp, you already know what to do. Smash that like button so this video reaches more Lions fans who need to see it. Drop a comment right now and tell us who you think wins the backup quarterback battle, or which safety takes that starting job opposite Kirby Joseph. We read every single comment, and we want to hear your predictions. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because Detroit Focus is bringing you the most honest, most entertaining Lions coverage all season long, and you do not want to miss a single update as training camp drama unfolds. Let's go, Detroit. See you in the next one.
Hey everyone, I'm working to hit 1,000 subscribers, and I need your help to get there. If you enjoy this content, please hit that subscribe button right now.